In this video, we are going to be focusing on inserting tabular data into an HTML document and the document structure. Now, tabular data is simply data that is in a table format, and that is very similar to an Excel spreadsheet or in a Microsoft Word document when you need to show information that is related to a particular record and you need to identify what each piece of data represents. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's jump into our demo Word document and let's insert a table. Now, first part is we need a header row that actually identifies what each chunk of data in the column represents or what it is, and then we need a row for each record that we're adding. In this case, let's go ahead and add a list of contacts with their associated name, title, and a phone number for somebody to contact them. So we're going to want a row that has to do with those three pieces of data and shows headers to tell people what's in the table. And then we'll need two rows for two people that we're going to add to our table. Now the first column we said was the name of the individual, and we're going to want to put that in bold and probably underline it because that is the column header or the title of that column. And then we're going to want the title of the individual, so that's another piece of data that's held in this table. And then we're going to want their phone number. So again, another piece of data that's held in this table. Now for each row is going to be a record for an individual that contains each piece of data belonging to that individual. So if we have, let's say, Sally, and she is the CEO of the company, and her phone number is 123-123-1234, and then we've got Fred, and he is the CIO for the company, and his number is 456-456-4567. Now, I hope you understand tabular data, but let's run through it really quick to make sure we've got a good idea of what it is. The first row, these being rows, the first row is going to be the header column or the header row that tells us what data is in each column. And then each column goes vertically and tells us each chunk of data that belongs to each row. And each row, so this entire row right here, contains information that belongs to Sally. And this entire row contains information that belongs to Fred. And so Fred is the CEO with that phone number, and Fred is the CIO, and Sally is the CEO with that number. Now all we're going to do is we are going to simply take this contact information table with its associated data, and we're going to rebuild that in HTML in our website that we've been building as we've gone through this tutorial. Now, our index.html, we don't really have any tabular data that we need to put in there. The about us doesn't really work. We're building a contact us, so that is going to imply a new page. So let's add a new page, contact.html. Open up that page. We're going to need to add a doc type to it. We're going to need our root HTML. We're going to need a head for our document, and in that we're going to need the title so that it displays on the browser tab. Let's undo that really quick. We'll call this contact us. And then we'll need our body to contain all of our visual elements. We'll do an H1 for the name of the page, contact us. And now we get into tabular data in an HTML document. Now, as already implied, we are going to use a table tag. And this table tag is going to have a caption. We're going to add a caption to it. And these are going to be, well, they are the people we're going to be contacting. The page is already called Contact Us. So let's call this administration, because we are putting in the CEO and the CIO. Now, just like in our Word document, we're going to need a row which gives us the title or name of each piece of data that is held in the overall column. So let's create a new row, and to do that we use TR, which stands for table row. And in the table row, so we're working on this row right here, we have 3 cells, and each cell holds a piece of table data in these rows, but up here it holds a table header, or a header cell. So for that, we'll use a TH for table header, and we need 3 of those. So let's just go ahead and copy that really quick. And then the first one is name, so let's go ahead and put name in there. Second one is title, so we'll add title. And the third one is phone, so let's go ahead and add phone. Now let's go look at our browser really quick. Well, we're on our About Us, but we are currently working on a new page that we called Contact. So we'll load that one. Now we can begin to see our table taking shape. We've got the caption called Administration. We've got our table row that holds all of our column headers, and we use the table header tag for that. And you can see they are in bold, just like we did in our Word document. Okay. Now we just need to add actual table data to our table. And we've got 2 rows, and each one has table data in each column that belongs to the user record, or the record of the person that that row belongs to. So let's go ahead and create 2 more table rows. And now we have our 2 rows. We've got this row and that row. And each row has 3 cells that contain table data that match what is described in the table headers. So to do that, all we use is a table data tag, or TD, and we need 3 of those in each of our table rows. So let's go ahead and just copy that down. Oops, it tabbed it too far in, so let's fix that tab. All right. So now, if we go to our page here, we don't have any data yet. So we need to go ahead and stick some data in there so we can see how the table gets put together and displayed. So let's go back to our Word document. We've got Sally, she's the CEO. So Sally. Again, we're working in the row, so each of these table datas correspond to the column header above. So name needs to be in the first table data because that first table header is name. And then title, she's the CEO, needs to correspond to the second table header, which would put it in the second cell inside of this table row for Sally, so we put CEO. And phone number, it needs to correspond to the third table header, which in this row needs to be the third table data. We said hers was 123-123-1234. So now we've got our phone number. So if we go back to our web page, we now see Sally, CEO, with her phone number there, which mimics what we have inside of our Word document. Now, Word automatically formats a table to have borders around every cell. That we do with CSS when we get to CSS. So as of right now, we don't see any divisions in the cells, but we can see that the data is being put in a tabular format that we can alter with CSS to make it look pretty later. So let's go ahead and let's add the second row. So it's Fred, he's the CIO. So again, Fred needs to be in the first table data cell to correspond with the first table header. He is the CIO. So again, CIO, second table header. So it needs to be in the second table data of the row. And then we've got his phone number, 456-456-4567. And again, phone number in the third table data to correspond with the third table header in that first header row. And once we save this, it reloads and we see the table beginning to take form. And if you highlight over that HTML, you can actually see kind of the divisions in the HTML based on those table data. All right, so that is adding tabular data to our HTML pages. The cool thing about this is that tabular data can be inserted into your HTML page, and then when you start to begin building complex web applications using JavaScript, we can dynamically add rows and add table data to an existing table using JavaScript. It'll be really cool when we get to that point. As of right now, that's how we add tabular data to an HTML page using the table tag, the caption tag, the table row, table header, and table data HTML elements.